The next thing to consider is what if a document is really large? So let's say it has 50,000 pages. How do you store such a massive document? Now here we have to make a decision. If we are going to be storing extremely large documents, especially documents of arbitrary length, then there are a few data structures that we can use, but at what cost? So if you're going to be storing documents like this, like a linked list, let's say, of page 1, page 2, page 3, then how do you read these documents? Okay, that is the first problem. That, okay, you can keep a linked list sort of thing, and then there's a pointer at the end of every document which is telling you which ID. So if you have an ID here, the file system actually picks up this document, and at the end you have the next ID. So this ID can then be sent to the file system, which is pulling documents here. It goes and picks up the next document. At the end it reads this ID, and then similarly the file system keeps picking pages till it's out of pages. So maybe the ID here is 0, the file system sees 0 and says, okay, that's a stop. And the problem with this is, if you have arbitrary length, what if a person, especially somebody who's not very interested in your system succeeding, makes a 1 million page document? Okay, can you send it back? So that's a problem. First thing to consider. Second thing is, when there are updates in this, what if there's a addition here in page 3? So you have 10 more lines here. You have to push this to page 4, which might have an overflow also. So do you push this all the way till a new node is created? That is something that linked list has to provide. And what if a few things are deleted from here? So you keep deleting lines. Do you need to update this pointer? Do you keep this as a blank pointer, in which case a lot of dead nodes are hanging about? So this is a complex thing, especially in a collaborative environment. And that's the reason why in any application that you see, you're going to have a limited page size. So 50,000 pages is not what it is. In Google Docs, it happens to be 50 MB. That's the max document size. And you can put 1 million characters. So 2 raised to power 20 characters are allowed. Okay. But you don't need to remember this, of course. You just need to say that I'm going to be limiting the size of any document to a particular limit. What limit? The max size that my data allows. This column is of type text. And depending on the database that I'm using, most likely I'm going to be using Cassandra. And if I have money, then I'm going to be using Amazon DynamoDB. And if I have even more money, then I can actually build a database in-house, which is designed for this kind of stuff. So Google, of course, will have that kind of money, and you can make your custom database, which is a key value pair thing, stores documents of limited size.